Over the past couple of months, I've become obsessed with Super Mario Odyssey speedruns, watching endless videos meticulously studying what separates those pro speedrunners from the average gamer. This interest eventually led me to watching speedruns of other Mario games where I was absolutely blown away by some of the advanced movement techniques, glitches, and strategies used by these speedrunners to shave mere seconds off their runs. My name is Copycat, and in this video, I'm going to go through every world record speedrun in every Mario game. Here, we're going to only look at any percent runs, and I'm going to go through some techniques speedrunners have discovered in each game, and what separates the best from the rest. Just so you know here as well, I'm only going to go through the Mario console games. I may do a separate video on handheld games, but for right now, just let's focus on the console ones. To begin this video, we're going to look at the game that started it all for Nintendo, Super Mario Bros. For the NES. This game has been in the speedrunning community for so long that only mere milliseconds separate those at the top of the leaderboards. As of right now, Tavenweb 2002 owns the current world record at a time of 4 minutes, 55 seconds, and 746 milliseconds. There are a few strategies that he used to save a lot of time off his runs, so I'll show you them here. Of course, the best runners have to be frame perfect, meaning that they don't lose any time traversing through the level by hitting a wall, taking the wrong path, or hitting an enemy. But once you reach the end of the level, you can actually save 0.35 milliseconds if you perform the flagpole glitch, which will clip you through its bottom block, allowing Mario to bypass the flag animation. This triggers the level's ending a bit quicker, saving valuable milliseconds. That's because Super Mario Bros. Runs on a frame rule, meaning that every 21 frames the game checks if you've completed the level. This means that you can only save time 21 frames at a time, as if you reach the end of the level in that time period, it will only end within that frame rule. In level 1-2, a technique called pipe clip is used to glitch through the pipe and get to the warp zone a bit quicker. Also, when you get to the warp zone, you have to go a little bit to the right of the screen or else the World 4 warp pipe won't load. The last place you can save time in this original game is in level 8-4, where you actually can wall jump off the side of a pipe to its top and go in it. It's actually amazing watching the best speedrunners attempt a world record, as you can tell how much time they put into the game and how they've basically memorized every movement they have to make. Next up in this video is the American version of Super Mario Bros. 2, in which the world speedrunning record is held by Cool Kid with a time of 8 minutes and 17 seconds. There are a few advanced strategies speedrunners use in this game, so I'll go through them with you. In 1-1, you'll have to use a few perfectly timed jumps off enemies to reach certain items and parts of the level a bit more quickly. Also, a glitch is performed where you can clip through the floor by picking up the bomb or an enemy just as you reach the bottom of the ladder, which will force you downwards, allowing you to reach the Birdo boss fight a bit quicker. In level 1-3, you'll have to use the warp pipe to travel to 4-1, while you have to traverse that level avoiding the enemies by using other enemies to jump over them. Cool Kid doesn't do this part perfectly, but he still finishes the level in a good amount of time. In 4-2, you'll have to use the warp pipe to get to 6-1, and then in 6-2, it's easiest to switch to Luigi so you can jump a bit farther. In 6-3, you'll have to do a crazy potion through a wall jump to get a bit more quickly to the hidden door and to the end of that level. In 7-1, you'll have to time your jumps off enemies perfectly so you'll save vital seconds bypassing a few obstacles. In 7-2, there's a glitch that's performed that skyrockets Toad to the top of the level, allowing you to bypass a lot of the rooms right to the final boss. I actually wonder how many of these glitches were accidentally found compared to the people actually looking for them in the game. In terms of any percent speedruns, Super Mario Bros. 3 is one of the fastest, with Kirua holding a world record time of 3 minutes, 4 seconds, and 33 milliseconds. In level 1-1, you just need to be as efficient as heck and jump off a Paracoopa so you can use the clouds to finish the level. Level 1-2 is no different. In 1-3, you have to perform the secret where you phase through the white platform leading to the secret Toad house with the warp whistle. In the first castle, you have to collect the second warp whistle, which you can get a lot quicker if you're already sprinting when you get the Super Leaf power-up. From here, use your first whistle to warp to World 2, then warp immediately again to World 7. In level 7-1, there's an incredibly weird glitch called the pipe bug, where you have to do a very complex combination of shell placements, pipe entries, and specific movements which glitch the game in a certain way so that it creates a false pipe which you can clip through the level right to the princess at the end of the game. This has something really weird to do with reprogramming the game, and I really have no idea how or why it happens, so I'll find a great video explaining it and I'll leave it in the description and comments below. Super Mario Bros. The Lost Levels wasn't released in North America until the SNES version, but believe it or not, was the direct Japanese sequel to the original game. It was changed and reshelled from a different game, as at the time Nintendo was worried that it would be too difficult for North American audiences. Tecate holds the world record at a time of 7 minutes, 57 seconds, and 514 milliseconds. Level 1-1 is very straightforward, and you'll just have to take the most efficient route. In level 1-2, you'll have to wall jump off a pipe, up to a ledge, and get to the secret area behind it. Here, take the first pipe. This will lead you to a sub area where you have to clip through the wall to get to the warp pipe, which will take you to World 4. Levels 4-1 to 4-4 take some very impressive platforming skills. In level 5-1, you'll have to quickly jump off the Paracupa to the ledge above and get to the end flagpole. In level 5-2, you'll have to pull off a very complex glitch, which for some reason allows you to travel to another warp pipe leading to World 8. Level 8-1 to 8-3 are really hard, as you have to make some very precise jumps and inputs to make it to the end in the least amount of time. The final level is all about patience and when to stop, jump, and avoid enemies. Tecate didn't make too many mistakes on his run, so I'm not really sure where you can make any time up here. The next Mario game we're going to look at is Super Mario World for the SNES, where the 80% world record is held by Furious with a time of 41 seconds and 866 milliseconds. That's right, I didn't say that wrong. There's actually a really weird glitch that triggers the game's end. This glitch actually rewrites the game's code in real time by setting up the game's memory in a certain way, which tricks it into thinking you've completed the game. Then, as Yoshi, you have to eat up a coin and jump off Mario to collect it just as the charging chuck is to the right of your screen. For some unknown reason, that enemy is seen as a power-up in the game's coding, which corrupts your gameplay, having the system search for a new memory file. This will be the ending cinematic of the game. The next game on this list is also the first 3D game in the franchise, Super Mario 64. Currently, Dowski holds the world record with a time of 6 minutes, 36 seconds, and 960 milliseconds. Of course, like the last few games we've talked about, there's a very specific glitch that allows you to skip right to the last level. To start, you have to clip Mario through the wall of the basement stairs. This little out-of-bounds area is inside the wall of the main room of the castle. Once here, you have to perform the incredibly difficult backwards long jump hyperspeed glitch. This will shoot Mario backwards into a black space in the castle, then again through Bowser's invisible wall so you can reach the last level of the game. To do this properly, it's all about speed, momentum, and camera angles. If you want to learn more about how and why this works, then check out Karl Jobst's video, which I'll leave a link to in the description below. The second 3D game in the franchise is Super Mario Sunshine, with Luigi holding the world record at a time of 1 hour, 14 minutes, and 13 seconds. Now, this is significantly longer than any speedrun we've seen up to this point, because there isn't any glitch that will take you to the end of the game. The one thing about this game that does set it apart from others is, on top of being perfect, you do also need a bit of luck. An example of this is the first boss fight with Petey the Piranha, as his patterns are completely random, which could make you lose vital seconds in your run. This happens a few more times in the game with other NPCs like the Chuckster secret and the Manta Ray boss fight. However, there are a few glitches in the game you can use to save time, like being able to clip through the wall in Peanut Park so you can get to the merry-go-round much earlier. To be honest, speedrunning Super Mario Sunshine takes immense platforming skill, and if you want to be the best of the best, then you'll have to be practicing for months to properly understand how Mario moves in this unique game. The third 3D game in the franchise is Super Mario Galaxy, where the world record is held by Mr. Cloud Kirby with a time of 2 hours, 31 minutes, and 21 seconds. Now, why anyone would want to be continuously stressed for 2.5 hours is beyond me, especially as the game is really based on perfecting certain techniques to save you massive amounts of time. These include wall spin combos, cosmic race speed boosts, slope climbs, and homing stomps, which will launch you really far. Now, the reason why the speedrun is very long is because you need a minimum of 60 stars before you can unlock the final Bowser boss battle. Maybe in the future there'll be a glitch that lets you bypass that, but for now this is over a 2-hour run. Nintendo eventually decided returning 2D Mario platforming to console gaming with new Super Mario Bros. Wii. The world record for this game is held by Fade Vanity with a time of 24 minutes and 29 seconds. Just like in previous 2D Mario platformers, there are secrets in certain levels that allow you to warp to different worlds, making your speedrun a lot easier. There are also certain platforming techniques used in this game to shave valuable seconds off your time. The first very important time saver in the game is called 556, which takes place in the world 5 Fortress. This level has spike walls that move back and forth, and for years it was done in a very specific way. With the newly discovered 556 strat, you could get to the boss door before the screen moved, blocking the path, which would save you a significant amount of time. Another important technique in the game that eventually saved over 20 seconds was called the double bomb list, meaning that out of the 3 bomb hits you're supposed to perform on Bowser Jr. in World 8, you only do 1 with the other 2 hits coming from the propeller cap, forcing Mario into a space so he can barely ground pound. At the time when Fade Vanity first did this, it was deemed impossible, as there is no real viable way to practice this over and over without playing to that part of the game. In the end, the really hard thing is stringing all these techniques together and not making any mistakes like Fade Vanity was able to do. The second Super Mario Galaxy game's 80% speedrun is very similar to its first, as its world record is nearly 3 hours long at an official time of 2 hours, 58 minutes, and 39 seconds by Nemi. This is because, once again, the final stage needs to be unlocked with a whopping 70 stars, which makes memorizing the right route to take through the game a painstaking task. It's safe to say that speedrunning this game isn't as popular as other Mario games in the franchise, and Nemi is actually the only person who's done this in under 3 hours. Wow. The new Super Mario Bros. U world record speedrun is currently held by Astix with a time of 37 minutes and 23 seconds. Throughout this run, there are a couple of skips, with one coming in level 1-5, which takes you to 5-1, and the other just after 5-5 through the cloud portion, which takes you to World 7. There really aren't any huge glitches or exploits in this game, meaning getting a perfect time requires some incredibly skillful platforming. This really isn't a popular game in the speedrunning community, and there's nothing really too crazy that happens in these speedruns, so I'll just leave it there. Super Mario 3D World is a very interesting game, as it's a combination of 3D gameplay and 2D Mario platforming. The world record right now is held by King Boo at a time of 1 hour, 38 minutes, and 43 seconds. This is a record that was recorded 2 years ago, and not much has changed in the entire route. In level 1-2, there's a hidden room with a secret warp pipe that can be accessed if you climb up a wall. This takes you to World 2, where the next warp isn't until World 4, level 2. Here, once again, you'll need the cat suit power-up, and there's a secret pipe to the left of the rotating piranha platforms that brings you to World 5. In terms of warps, that's pretty much it, and you'll have to rely on Cat Mario's parkouring advantages to get around many hard obstacles in the game. There are a few shortcuts that help you complete levels a little bit quicker, but they are really risky. Unfortunately, the failure of the Wii U didn't make this game overly popular with speedrunning, but it's still really fun to play. The most recent game in the franchise, and the one that's gone through a crazy history of speedrunning, is Super Mario Odyssey. As of right now, Tyrone18 holds the world record with a time of 58 minutes and 47 seconds. The thing that makes Super Mario Odyssey hard is figuring out your moon route in each kingdom, as you have a certain amount per kingdom you have to get to activate the Odyssey. This has been refined over the last 2 years by using some incredible techniques and glitches, so here they are. The very first one comes in the Cascade Kingdom, where you have to capture the T-Rex, then bounce off the trampoline to gain enough height to make it to the Madame Brutal boss fight. Like I said, you need a certain amount of moons to activate the Odyssey, in this case 5. So after you get the one from the chest in the water, you can clip through the floor by immediately cap throwing, then diving, which will glitch you through it towards the Odyssey. This trick can only be used when you get a moon, as it clips you slightly through the roof or wall. In the Sand Kingdom, several seconds can be saved if you keep Cappy up top near the bullet bills, then drop down to collect a moon in the quicksand. If you quickly flick the controller, then you can capture the bullet bill and teleport instantly upwards, avoiding many seconds parkouring. In the Light Kingdom, behind the Sipper section, you can perform an incredibly interesting clip through the roof, which will allow you to get the moon in the underwater portion of the kingdom. As you saw, you can also flick Cappy upwards to trigger the checkpoint at the painting skip area. All you have to do next is teleport there to gain that moon. Another clip is used again in the Wooded Kingdom on this ledge upwards to the moon that's located behind the Sherm wall. You can then clip again to continue your run. In the Lost Kingdom, if you start off by using the tree to jump and travel directly to the mountain, then your run can be set up a lot more time efficiently. In the nighttime portion of the Metro Kingdom, you can pretty much skip the entirety of it if you go directly right, bounce off an awning, then do some incredibly perfect wall jumps to reach the roofs above. In the daytime portion, the scooter can be used to ever so slightly lean left and clip through the RC car cage to get that moon. In the Snow Kingdom, another moon clip is used to travel from here in Shiveria Town to the entrance of the sub-area. That's just insane. The Snow Dram Jump is also used in this run to get the moon on the Painting Skip Cliff, which makes it a lot easier to get back to the Odyssey. In the Seaside Kingdom, you can clip through the steep drop-off underwater by placing the Cheat Sheep in the right spot, then capturing it, which will force you through the wall. You can then get 2 moons, one outside the Sphinx and the secret run below it. One of the biggest time savers takes place in Bowser's Kingdom during the Mecha Brutal boss battle, where you can actually scale up it and stay on top of it to beat the bunnies. The Moon Kingdom is home to one of the hardest jumps in Super Mario Odyssey, but pulling it off will allow you to skip the entire cave section. This jump is called Lunar Eclipse and can be easily failed if you aren't careful. Tyrone18 really didn't make any mistakes in his run, and I really wonder if anyone will ever discover any new techniques or routes to improve on this crazy world record. Alright, so that's going to be it for today's video, guys. I really hope you did enjoy this one. I know I couldn't go into too much detail about each game, but I think it's a good starting point just to see some techniques that these expert speedrunners use. I hope you guys leave this video a like, subscribe to my channel, and hit that bell button to stay notified when I upload weekly videos. Have a good day, guys, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye!